Is Coach B. How are you doing? Happy Saturday, guys. It's Saturday. See? That's how crazy this is. I feel like I've already lived out my Friday and that I'm already into Saturday because, well, that's just the way it goes around here. So please say hi as you hop on. Let me know where you're tuning in from. If you're catching me on the replay, I'm really sorry I missed you. Type replay in the comments and I will be sure to come and love on you guys. I hope everybody's doing well. So I am going to get on my soapbox a little bit today because I just came off a podcast that I do with a group of friends of mine, and I feel some type of way because we were talking about codependency, and a lot of people don't actually know what codependency means. And I want to define it for you guys. And after I define it, I'm going to give you a little smackety smack today because I feel like some people need to be shaken up a little bit today. I literally just feel that way. So here's what codependency is. Contrary to what people think, codependency is not a good thing. So some people will say, oh, so-and-so are codependent. No, they're not codependent. If they're living together, they're cohabiting or co-situating or whatever it is, okay? Codependency is not a good thing. Codependency is the tendency to put other people's needs before your own to the extent that it actually harms you. Did you hear me? I said codependency is the tendency to put other people's needs before yourself, even if it harms you. Now, I know for a fact that there are, in fact, a lot of women are codependent. I was a codependent. I was the person who literally took care of everybody else's needs, took care of everybody else's wants, financially, physically, emotionally, psychologically drained myself, taking care of other people to the extent that I got sick. Yeah, my body suddenly said, you know what, I'm done here, and I got sick. So I want to talk to my sisters here because let me tell you, sometimes the way we are raised is what leads to this codependent behavior. Many of us are brought up in situations where as a woman, as a girl, starting from girlhood, you are taught to care and look after everybody else, right? I'll give you an example. I grew up in a village and I can remember being a teenager. When we were younger, it wasn't that way because we were taken care of from up to about the age of 12. From 12 onwards, I remember that we would cook, we would fetch firewood, we would fetch water. We would cook and we would put food out for everybody else. And then the girls who were now called grown-ups, yeah, you were grown up by 12, 13. Grown-up girls and the mothers and the aunties would eat whatever was left over and we would eat last. In other words, everybody else's needs, from their laundry, from how they will eat, from their water to wash with, everybody else was taken care of and we were the last. We were the last to bath at night with whatever water was left. Right? All this to say, from a cultural perspective, where I come from, women are brought up to be codependent. Women are brought up to believe and to buy into the myth that it is okay to take care of everybody else at the expense of yourself. To the extent that anyone who shows up different, anyone who dares to set boundaries and say, no, this is mine, this is about me. No, you cannot take this from me. No, 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 is labeled selfish. Now, if you can identify with this, let me know, because let me tell you, this is a real problem. And part of the reason women do not buck against this, part of the reason women will not resist this is simple: likability. We want to be liked. We want to feel like we are a good person. And do you know that the manipulators or codependents are the ones who go around singing your praises about how absolutely amazing and generous and wonderful you are? Yes. They know how to feed the ghost or the troll or whatever it is, the demon. They know how to get you to buy into that myth of codependency. They know how to get you to believe that it is okay to care about others, give others everything at the expense of yourself. Now here, I'm here to kind of preach this, but I want to tell a story about myself. And I tell it a lot. The story about how I emptied my bank account for someone. Like, emptied my bank account for someone because I perceived their need to be bigger than my needs at the time. So I want to tell you in that, listen, if you're emptying your bank account for someone, you're a codependent and you're not right. You got to take care of yourself properly first so that you can take care of whoever else. Everybody was born in this world with one head, two legs, two arms. And adults can take care of themselves. Now, I understand we have situations in the world, especially for us immigrants. We are coming from all kinds of places where we are sending money home in order to help wherever it is we can help. But let me tell you something. If you are doing so at the expense of yourself, if you are not making rent because you're sending money home, if you are not eating properly and well because you're busy sending money home, if you don't have enough gas money because you're sending money home, that is not right. That is codependent and it's wrong. It is not healthy. It doesn't matter if your people at home are singing what a saint you are. Dude, when you die, nobody gonna come to your funeral to say, oh my God, they were a saint. The thing is, you're dead and they're not gonna resuscitate you because you were too busy bleeding yourself dry for them. It is okay to say no, guys. Please share this, guys, if you feel you're getting anything worth anything from this. It is okay to say no. No is a complete sentence. It doesn't mean you're not generous. It doesn't mean you're selfish. It doesn't mean you don't care about other people's plight. But it means you care about you. It means you love you. And any holy book you look at talks about how self-love, first love you so that you can love your neighbor. It doesn't say go and love your neighbor and then think about yourself later. It says love your neighbor as you love yourself. So before you go treating your neighbor like they're king and all, are you treating yourself the same? Because the truth of the matter is you do this over and over again. But want to know the truth? How many of you can say, I have been so generous over the years to this and this, but when it came to my time of need, I couldn't find them. They had joined the witness protection program, couldn't see them, couldn't find them anywhere. You know why that is? Because people have a radar for codependence. People have a radar for those people they know they can leech off of. And the moment you open your mouth to say, help, they disappear and they don't know you. You call them, they see your number, they don't pick it up. Then they allow enough time to lapse before they need something and they start wheedling their way back in. And you, because you are a nice person, and you, because you want to be liked, don't even say to them, you know what, I looked for you the other time I was in such dire need and you didn't even pick up my calls. Am I right? Some of you won't even say that. And then they'll come with their tale of woe. And I want to speak to the empaths here too. I'm an empath. The empaths here. What are empaths? These are people who feel so deeply for other people's pain to the extent that physically sometimes they will take on other people's pain. See, you empaths are prone to codependency. Let me tell you. But you need to self-care because ultimately it is not healthy for you to bleed yourself dry for other people. And believe me, there are people who are called borderlines out there and narcissists who zoom in. It's like they smell a codependent. What is a borderline? A borderline is a person who literally believes that everyone in their life is there to serve them. So they sniff out the codependents. Now imagine a borderline and a codependent put together. What do you get? Disaster. Codependent, you will never rest when that happens. And you will get sucked dry. And your mental health will suffer. And then your physical health will follow. Please hear me well on this. So if you're codependent, I'm here to tell you this. Please start taking better care of yourself. Your needs are just as valid. I don't care how you define your needs. Validate your own needs and prioritize them. If your need is for a spa day and a massage and a pedi and a manicure, if that's a need of yours, it is no less important than your cousin's need at home for electricity. But ask yourself this: if you're going to give that money away, are you doing it because you want to be liked and to stay in good books? Or are you truly compassionate? And then don't send all your money over there. Send the money that's needed. But keep some for yourself. Your time. Do you value and prioritize your time? Because your needs for time are also valid. So if you're constantly 24/7 there for others who need you, what about you? When do you get your work done? When do you get your me time? When do you get to sleep or to rest? You gotta prioritize your needs. Now, it's very difficult. I preach to you guys because I'm preaching to me right now. It is very difficult if you were raised in a culture where all women do is serve. They serve and they do it joyfully because we've been told that that's what good women do. Is you give, and those who take advantage, and you smile, and you give, and this auntie comes and says, oh, I love your dress, and you're like, you can have it. Meanwhile, you really liked that dress, but you didn't dare say no, because what? You don't want her to think you are a stingy person. You don't want the rumors to go around that say you are mean, and so on and so forth. Guys, it's time to wake up. There is something I'd like to talk to my people of color. People call it the black tax. Have you guys ever read the book, The Black Tax? If you haven't, let me explain something to you about the black tax. Somebody once said, you know why black people never ascend to real wealth, like legacy building wealth? Only a few do. But you know why the majority of us don't and will never? Because we pay what is called the black tax. The black tax is your string of relatives and other people who, as soon as they see you making something of yourself, suddenly know you. Suddenly, they are your best uncle. Suddenly, when I was growing up, your mom and I were so tight. Bullshit. Suddenly, oh, child, can you send me a Stetson? Can you send me a pair of cowboy boots from Texas? Can you? And so it is, and so it goes on. For immigrant people, ascending to wealth, tough one. Because if you have a country burning like Zimbabwe, and you have a huge family like I do, black tax. What you make comes out. Your own bills are covered and everything, but any excess you have goes out. Feeding people, COVID masks, COVID this one, and that one. We need a big old, water tanker because there's no running water because the government's let us down. We need a generator over there because guess what? We don't get power anymore. The black tax. Tell me how you're going to accumulate any wealth. Tell me how you're going to leave something for your children. I taught myself something. In the beginning, when I was terrified to say no to people, I would have to say this to myself. Barbara, you are squandering your children's legacy. this is not your money. I literally had to make it not mine. Guys, if you have a problem, can you do that for me, please? Can you start looking into the eyes of your little ones and saying, I owe them a legacy? So that anytime somebody says, I need money to borrow, or can you give me money? You can literally say, I don't have any. And inside you say, because it belongs to my children. Don't have to tell them that. But you got to convince yourself if you need that. Now, that's a sign of a real codependent. And that's me. I literally had to say, this is not my money. This is my children's legacy. This is my children's wealth. Therefore, I will not squander it because I brought them into the world. They didn't ask to be born and they deserve a legacy, and that's that. So I, after that, in myself, could then turn around to the person and say, no, it's not possible. I don't have it. And it's okay to do this. Give yourself permission to protect you. Give yourself permission to care for you. Give yourself permission to prioritize you. And if you find it hard to give yourself permission, okay, Coach B right here is giving you permission to care for yourself. I grant you that permission. And if you're scared of some kind of wrath from your ancestors, I'll deal with your ancestors, okay? Generosity does not mean codependency, guys. Kindness does not mean codependency. Caring does not mean codependency. Just remember that next time you're about to empty your wallet without even knowing where you're going to get your next few dollars to do something nice for your kids even, and you're emptying that wallet for somebody who says, please, can I borrow? Look in your life for the chronic borrowers. Ask those people. Start saying no, and they're going to act up when you first say no. Listen, when you first start taking care of yourself, people go crazy. Take it from me. People go crazy. And that's where the things that are designed to shame you happen. You're selfish. What kind of a mother are you? What kind of a mother are you because you're taking time out to self-care? But in the manipulator's eyes, they know the things that get you. So if somebody says, what kind of a mother are you for taking time out for yourself? Essentially, they know that they can guilt you into doing something. They can shame you into doing something. And this is where self-mastery comes. Staying in your power and knowing who you are. Because if not, people will run circles around you, accusing you of all kinds of things just because you refuse to be codependent anymore and that you choose to start taking care of yourself. Well, I hope somebody benefited from this. Like I said, I had to come and throw down today. We are not vibing. This is the second live of the day, but I was like, if I don't speak on this today, tomorrow I might get another prompting to speak on something else. But I really wanted to share this because I really think this is important. And if you are somebody who knows a codependent person, can you share this live with them? Please. If you are somebody who lives near or around a codependent person, can you talk to them? Can you share this with them? The behaviors of a codependent are so clear. You can't miss them. Usually they're the person everybody says is generous to a fault. There is a reason that saying exists. You are generous to a fault means you are generous to the point where it doesn't make sense anymore. You are generous to the point where it hurts you. You are generous to the point where you are disenfranchising yourself. That is what generous to a fault means. There is a reason that saying is there. So you want to be generous, but not generous to a fault. Take good care of you. All right, guys. Love you. Leave you. Hope you have a great rest of your evening, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye.